Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of People in the News in North Texas. My guest today is Mound Councilman Jim Pearson. Thanks for being here, Jim.
Thanks, Bob.
I want to get right to it. During a recent workshop session at Town Hall, you and a few other councilmen were asking questions about the upcoming town budget, and it led to some tense moments. At last Monday's regular council meeting, there were some critical comments that seemed to be directed at you during citizens' participation. You want to tell our viewers about that and what happened and why?
Well, in the first meeting, I think it was on the 15th, what was presented to us was a proposal for the budget, which included an increase of some $6 million. The council is charged with approving what staff presents. When staff does not present justifications in a manner that tells us why they need these increases and just give us a bottom line number, in my mind, I have to ask questions to find out what's driving this increase. To suggest that I can get it from a 600-page manual in 2 or 3 weeks is just silliness. The only way I was able to pull it out is because I've done this so many times in the past and had to critique budgets.
You mean in your private life, in your corporate life?
In my corporate life. And despite what people say, you can run a town the same way you run your household or your business. You take in, you spend. That's the only two numbers that really are important in any role. And you have to satisfy the needs. So it's a balancing act. What I think we saw in the second meeting, we've always in Flower Mound had two divergent groups. I call them the pour and build. You pour your concrete, you build. Versus those folks that want to try and live within our means without going into debt to finance our future here in the town. It's, in my mind, the pour and build group are feeling like the status quo is changing. It doesn't need to, and they shouldn't. We're not going to take things away, in my mind. That's not my intent, is to take things away. But my intent is to maintain our slow, steady growth. If you recall, when I was campaigning, I told you that there's two driving factors for me being willing to get involved. One was to decrease our density, because that drives expenses. The denser your community becomes, the more infrastructure you have to support it. The two go hand in hand. So what I think is happening is there is a concern among certain elements within the town that we're going to take that ability away from them. And nothing could be further from the truth. We have got to continue to grow. We've got to continue to spend money. Modest increases may be necessary from time to time. But when I see a budget presented that is significantly higher than the previous one, the question that has to be answered in my mind as a council member is why? What are we spending it for?
All right, so what is the current size of the town budget?
Well, the projection for a final budget for 2018-2019 was $67,378,000. Now, that may have changed because that was based on July 31 figures, and we've added some since then.
But they're working on the 2019-2020
Yes.
budget.
The original numbers that were proposed that came out of our 594-page proposed budget was $73,523,700.
Okay, so that's the $6 billion increase?
Roughly, yes.
Roughly, and so you were...
In the general fund only now.
Okay, so you were concerned with where's that $6 million go? I mean,
Why are we raising our previous year's expenses by $6 million? That's
Okay.
the question that I think we need to answer.
Okay, so you also asked the question if the town can be run this year with the same budget as last year.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there was an answer to that or not. Is it standard that every budget in the town goes up somewhat each year?
There, in my mind, there's only two reasons why a budget would need to increase, well, three. The third one being a catastrophic problem of some sort. The other one would be a significant lowering of the valuation of the taxes, the tax base. And then the third one would be some item that wasn't foreseen, that not a catastrophic item, it wasn't foreseen that makes sense to the town.
So do you think a $6 million increase over the prior budget is a lot?
I think anything over the prior budget is a lot in the absence of justification.
Okay, sure, and so this is what you were doing at the workshop session? You were questioning some of the items in the budget?
I was trying to understand more our methodology. How do we decide that our water we need to upgrade systems within our water department? And I think I got a very good explanation of that. Now, we never did get an answer to the cost benefit. I'm not sure that's part of our methodology within the town, is to take an item and we say we want to do this, all right, if we don't do it, what does that mean? And if we do it, what's the benefit? How much does it cost versus what do we get?
So, let me ask you straight out, I mean, were you questioning the judgment or experience of the town staff by questioning them? I mean, is that?
I'm not ready to make a response to that specifically. I will say this, the staff is reacting to the previous council's directions. That's their role. And if we have allowed the town staff to set the budgets and pretty much have a free hand at doing that, then I don't think I can lay this at the foot of the staff.
Sure. Okay, so generally speaking, we have a town manager, all right? That is, a town manager is selected by council members at some point and brought in. That town manager has a responsibility to select staff that are in the various departments that are experienced at the departments that they're running. So when he selects them and they create the budget, do you feel that that you have enough faith in the town manager to accept what the budget is that was brought to you, or do you feel that you have to go through it piece by piece to make sure?
It's not a matter of faith. Our ordinances call for the budget message to set forth the reasons for changes.
Yeah.
It calls for a consolidated statement of anticipated receipts and a summary of proposed expenditures. That's in here somewhere,
Yeah.
all right?
Okay.
The problem is where we're now in an element where you have a couple of new council members every year, they can't get up to speed that fast. We need something more simple, and I've suggested that to our CFO, and she's agreed that that can also be a part of our future budget needs.
Okay, so, it's the old maxim, every resident would like to pay less for town services, but how many are willing to give up any of those services? It's the old maximum that you get what you pay for. In any event, we're coming to a close here, so I just want to say, Jim, I want to thank you for being here. I think it's important for you to explain what happened at those meetings, because people are talking about them, but it's an important subject also to make sure that we all have faith in our council and the town staff. So thanks again,
Thank you very much, Bob.
and thank you for watching.